grader's parents kept her home from school during the protest that followed the Alongo shooting. They worried about her safety, but the district refused to excuse her absence.
So her parents called Team 10 investigator Allison Ash about what they believed could have been the difference between their daughter's death and her life.
Faith Berman looks just like any other 10-year-old as she walks home from Naranka Elementary School, straight into the arms of her father.
Can we go inside now?
But Faith isn't like everyone else. She spends a lot of each school day in the nurse's office.
She gives me shots and she basically does everything.
Faith is a type 1 diabetic. She needs insulin shots up to 7 times a day.
I usually take this meter and I poke myself and then it tells me what my blood sugar is.
Even as we talked to Faith, we heard this.
Can you talk to me about what your
Her glucose meter beeped.
50 and dropping, which means we got to check her blood sugar and she's got to eat a snack.
Or drink juice.
Or drink a juice.
It's been 3 years since Faith's diagnosis. In the early months, she missed a lot of school. This year, her goal was perfect attendance. She was well on her way until this. A protest over the police shooting of Alfred Olongo. Right up the street from Faith's school. Her parents panicked.
If something goes wrong with all these riots and stuff going on and they go into lockdown, she's halfway across campus. There's no way that if she goes high that the nurse is going to be able to get to her to give her insulin.
Faith's parents feared she could go into a diabetic coma without her insulin, so they kept her home.
I would have been scared.
They would have never been able to get her out of the school. She would have died on campus.
The lockdown never happened. The school gave Faith an unexcused absence.
And because of this unexcused absence, she's not going to get a perfect attendance.
After 3 weeks of fighting with school administrators, Faith's parents called Team 10, then asked the superintendent to excuse the absence.
It would be committing fraud, and we wouldn't do it.
David Miyashiro was sympathetic.
We do commiserate with the parent and completely understand.
But said his decision was final. He told Faith's parents Saturday school was her only option to get the absence excused.
If a kid is kept home because of medical problems, then it should be an excused absence.
Days after our interview with the superintendent, Faith's parents got their wish. It came after they presented the superintendent with a note from Faith's doctor. Not only was their daughter's absence excused, the district is now looking at ways to make sure, even in a lockdown, kids like Faith have access to the meds they need to stay healthy.
Now, the superintendent says his district is exploring ways to keep things like insulin and EpiPens under lock and key in the classroom so they can make sure students that need medicine in an emergency always have access to it. He also says he talked to police and fire about the issue, and he told me he has been reassured that if there is a medical emergency during a school lockdown, help will definitely get to those kids.
Got to be prepared.
Part of our changing world. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.